Just before we go into the French camp with Erik Bielderman to talk more about their game against Spain, we asked you earlier on because Randall Colomwani has admitted he couldn't resist putting on the Kylian Mbappe's mask just to try it on and have a picture taken with it. It's going to go quite iconic. Maybe if they go on and win it, even more so. Listen to this story. Working as a travelling sales rep in the building game a few years ago, my suits were being ruined whilst on site and the dry cleaning bill was racking up. To resolve this, I planned on buying a pair of yellow waterproof trousers. You know those big old things you wear on site. Yeah. Sometime later, having still not made the purchase, I was waiting in a prospective new client's office and saw a pair of the exact same yellow trousers I had in mind hanging over their chair. As they were running late for the meeting, I couldn't resist trying them on to see how they looked. They looked great, but I misjudged the time, and unfortunately, the guys walked in for the meeting before I had time to take them off. I had to conduct the whole meeting with them wearing the yellow trousers and remain as professional as possible. During my sales pitch, I could tell they knew I was wearing their trousers, but wasn't sure how to explain why or how to give them back without freaking them out. As the meeting came to its natural end, I simply took the trousers off, folded them back over the chair, shook hands and walked away. I decided not to contact them again as I'm sure they'd never contact me. And to be honest, they haven't.
That was very bold. I think I would have just kept the trousers on.
Like these were my trousers.
No, these are my trousers.
So, but then you've got that. I mean, you're such a Larry David. So at the end of the meeting, when they say, "Where'd you get those trousers from?" I say, "Oh, I think I picked them up at Tool Station last week."
That's right.
Well, I had a pair just like those with the same mark on the knee, on the back of my chair.
My name on them.
Well, yeah. What's the name? Oh, yeah, that's it. See? Doesn't pay to tell fibs, does it? What a great story. You didn't put your name on it, but thank you very much for that. Anyway, I'm sure they're all trying his mask on, even though it is causing him all sorts of problems and he'd rather not wear it.
I like the one in the French flag. That was fantastic. The UEFA wouldn't let him wear. That was really nice.
I mean, he took one on the side of the head the other day and whacked him on the nose, so he had to go off and didn't get to take a penalty. But he got 2 out of 10 from L'Equipe. 2 out of 10 from L'Equipe.
It's a bit personal.
Savage marking. I don't know if it's the fault of our next guest, French football journalist from L'Equipe, Erik Bielderman. Hi, Erik.
Hi, good afternoon.
Did you give Kylian 2 out of 10?
I'm in the airport at the moment. It's very noisy. So if I answer not correctly to your question, sorry for that. But if you want me to talk about Kylian Mbappé, of course we are worried about him. We know that he will play because Didier Deschamps will never drop him from the first team. But the situation at the moment is that he's really underachieving, and he's underachieving from the early stage of the season. Since the time that he was at war with the club, he was dropped from being traveling with the club for the summer tour, and the war is on. And he had a poor season, and unfortunately, with the nose injury that he had for the first game, that have been adding to the doubt that we do have about his physical and also about his I would say, psychological faith in himself.
No, that is very noticeable, isn't it?
He doesn't look sharp. He doesn't.
And he doesn't, and it's bothering him. He doesn't like playing. You know, we saw the other day he was in a lot of pain. He was almost asking to go off before he ultimately had to be taken off. Who have been the good players? Who have you been impressed with for France? I mean, you haven't scored many goals, and a bit like England, you haven't played particularly well in most games. But who have you enjoyed watching for France, Erik?
Just look at our records. We don't score goals, but we don't concede goals. Maignan, the goalkeeper, is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah.
Behind that, we can talk about our defense. Saliba, the one from Arsenal, is just having a wonderful tournament, but all the defense must be praised. Whatever you can talk about Upamecano, you can speak about Koundé on the right side. He's a central defender. He plays right back and he does the job. Hernandez on the left also does the job, and the defensive midfield is also working very well. N'Golo Kante, you know him from the later years, and he's after being for a couple of years playing in Saudi Arabia, he's back to France, and he's playing like if he was with his youth year. So we defend well. We are very consistent in the midfield, but we don't score goals. That's the point.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, you've got players like Griezmann, who hasn't been great. Mbappé, you mentioned. Kylian Mbappé. There are players there that can score
He
goals.
missed a good chance, didn't he, Kylian Mbappé, in the game. Portugal were the better team. I mean, they could have easily won it, but for Magnon, couldn't they?
Yeah, we know with Didier Deschamps that we are never, or we are hardly the better team, but we are the most consistent team. We are a very difficult team to beat, and we mainly always finish by winning a game. With Didier Deschamps, we won a World Cup. We went to a final of World Cup and nearly won it against Argentina. We went to the final of the Euro 2016. Only one tournament have been really disappointing when we got beaten 4 years ago in the quarterfinal. We are a team with soul, with spirit, with skill, with some individual genius, but behind that we have the culture of being on the winning side. So we don't care if Portugal is a better team. We don't care if maybe tomorrow night Spain is a better team. We just try not to make the show, but to win games.
So the confidence finally, Erik, is growing, you sense, that people think you can go all the way. What about an England final? How would you view that?
Oh, when I look at England, sometimes I look at the English media. I think you have the same question mark that we do have with France. I mean, you have wonderful players from Bellingham to Harry Kane and so on, Saka, and you don't score too many goals. And every single game we are at doubt about England to go through, and you do go through. 4 years ago, you were to the final of the Champions European Cup, and now you are back in the semis, and you have a great chance to go to the final, maybe without scoring goals, and maybe without making the English media happy with Southgate, but at least you do behave on the field. After 1-0 to Switzerland, to me, you were out. You were gonna be knocked out, and you did it. So you are a little bit of the French culture in your football now.
Yeah, we're both limping our ways to potential glory, Erik. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Erik Bielderman there from L'Équipe over in France.
Sounds quite confident for tomorrow. I fancy Spain strongly. I just think, especially if they score first.
I mean, how often, though, you get to a semi-final and the team that has kind of, as much as anybody has, kind of lit the tournament up and has played some great football and has got a lot of players that can hurt you and a bit exciting, go out and lose one.
Absolutely.
And France could grind it out. Holland and France, of course, have played against each other. It was that 0-0 draw at the group stage, not a stunner.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.